His monstrous form will break, but only when sincere love pierces the darkness. Our movie begins with Kyle Kingston, a high school student who is the classic picture of youthful arrogance. Convinced that his stunning looks entitle him to life's finest pleasures, Kyle constantly humiliates and belittles those who don't meet his superficial standards. He decides to run for president of the Green Committee, not out of passion for the environmental cause, but simply to reaffirm his sense of superiority. During the debate, Kyle gives a vain speech about his irresistible appearance, completely ignoring environmental topics. Still, the audience gives him a standing ovation. Everyone except Kendra, his rival, who sees through his empty charm. After the debate, Kendra, furious, vandalizes all of Kyle's campaign posters and demands that he step down, saying someone more worthy should hold the position. Kyle, however, is unfazed. He mocks Kendra with cruel comments about her looks. What he doesn't realize is that this encounter will be the turning point of his life. The next day, after winning the election, Kyle tries to be nice and invites Kendra to a party at the VIP Green Committee Club. She accepts, but warns only idiots insult witches. At the party, things quickly go south for Kyle. His girlfriend ridicules him for the simple gift he brings, a rose. Rejected, Kyle turns his attention to Lindy, a waitress working to fund a trip to Machu Picchu. He poses for a photo with her, placing the rose in her dress, but later reveals to his friends that he only did it out of pity. Looking for yet another ego boost, he insults Kendra again. This time, she simply smiles enigmatically and assures him he will regret it. Later, at home, Kyle suffers a severe headache and, looking in the mirror, sees a monster. On the terrace, he finds Kendra, who explains the curse. He has 1 year to hear the words, "I love you," or he will remain deformed forever. When his father arrives, Kyle pleads with him not to turn on the lights, but the man ignores him. Upon seeing his son's appearance, he immediately calls a doctor. When told that neither surgeries nor transplants will fix the problem, Kyle's parents decide to isolate him in a remote house under the care of the housekeeper, Zola. 5 months later, a new resident arrives, Will, a blind tutor hired to help Kyle with his studies. Will's presence and Zola's support, who misses the children she left in her home country, soften Kyle's isolation. Kyle begins going out at night and starts watching Lindy, developing feelings for her. One day, he follows her and saves her from a dangerous situation involving criminals and her father. Taking advantage of the chaos, Kyle demands that Lindy's father allow her to move in with him for her safety. Lindy, furious at being torn from her life, isolates herself in her room. None of Kyle's gifts win her over, until, following Zola's advice, he offers her chocolates, showing he's paying attention to her tastes. Slowly, they begin to connect. Kyle writes daily letters to Lindy, secretly revealing his feelings, while he builds a rooftop rose greenhouse to impress her. When they finally talk, Lindy is not frightened by his monstrous appearance. On the contrary, she sees his inner kindness. On a trip to the zoo, Kyle shares painful memories of his childhood, when he used to hide there after being abandoned by his mother. This moment of vulnerability brings them even closer. As the curse's deadline approaches, Kyle tries to find Kendra to ask for more time, but she refuses. He then takes Lindy to a lakeside cabin and plans to confess his love. However, before he can, she gets an urgent call. Her father is in the hospital. Kyle takes her to the station and, at the moment of farewell, only hears, "You're a good friend." Lindy leaves, unaware of his true feelings. She later discovers Kyle's letters and tries to reach him, but he doesn't answer. Will and Zola finally convince Kyle to face his fear and go after her. In an emotional scene, he finds her just before she boards a bus to Machu Picchu. Kyle confesses his love, and Lindy finally realizes he's the same boy she always had feelings for. Interestingly, the film strongly echoes the dark, fantastical aesthetic of Beauty and the Beast, and even evokes a bit of the atmosphere of The Golden Compass, 2007, blending modern fantasy with classic themes. A fun fact, during the filming of Beastly, makeup artists spent up to 6 hours a day applying prosthetics on actor Alex Pettyfer to create Kyle's scars and tattoos. Personally, I wouldn't have used blackmail to force Lindy's father to let her move in with Kyle. I think that was a morally questionable choice. On the other hand, I would have invested earlier in small, kind gestures, like when Kyle finally offers chocolates and builds the greenhouse. actions that show real empathy. A fascinating point about this story is how it forces us to reflect. Does our appearance define who we are, or do our choices and inner transformations shape our true self? If you were in Kyle's place, how long do you think it would take you to truly love someone and allow yourself to be loved back? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to check out our latest video. I promise you'll love it. See you there. Would you like me to help